Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
So what is the cost of a 30 seconds commercial for the Super Bowl? $7 million.
Oh, okay.
$7 million, which is actually the same as last year. So compare it all the way back to Super Bowl I, Lucas. The only Super Bowl that wasn't sold out.
The AFL-NFL World Championship game.
1967, a 30-second commercial cost $37,000 and $37,500.
I'm not even going to bother with the inflation calculator because that is not going to translate to $7 million in $24. Not even close.
The first time it topped $1 million, $1 million, was Super Bowl 29, 1995. $1.15 million. Was the first time it topped. The year before, it got close, $900,000. So, first time it topped $2 million, Super Bowl 34, 2000. First time it topped $3 million. I got to know my Roman numerals here, so bear with me. Super Bowl 45, Packers, $3.1 million. First time it topped $4 million, 2014. That would be Super Bowl. Here we go. Roman numerals.
At that point, I'm just like, who was in the game?
Yeah. I think this was the. Was this the Seahawks one?
So what Super Bowl? What are the Roman numerals?
XLV3.
XLV So that would have been. I always the shortcut as I go back to the original ones where it's kind of easy to remember and then just apply that with the X's and the.
It's got to be 48 then.
So that would have been.
48.
Right, so that would have been, Seahawks, Broncos. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the first time at top 4.
The New York Super Bowl.
Yeah. What I thought Super Bowl 50 was a New York Super Bowl.
That was Santa Clara.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, because that was the one, it's going to snow, and then it ended up being like 50 degrees.
Denver won Super Bowl 50. Denver lost the New York one.
Correct.
Yeah. So 51, actually, Super Bowl 51 is the first time it topped $5 million, and then the first time it topped 6, skyrocketed. Went from $5.5 million in 2021 to $6.5 million in 2022. That would be Super Bowl 56. Yeah, 56. So, yeah, first time it topped $7 million was last year. So, there you have it, $7 million.
So why?
If anybody's wondering, it doesn't cost that much to buy a 30-second commercial for sports talk. Just saying. So, if you want to get more bang for your buck there.
Hey, yeah, if you don't have $7 million to spend, you can get it way cheaper. It's not $7 million, that's for sure.
Right.
Here, hey, and it didn't go up this year. So what's wrong with the NFL?
Yeah, no kidding.
Are people turned off by Taylor Swift? See how I tried to make a controversy. No.
It's I know that's like a topic. Like, are you tired? I don't have anything against Taylor. I'm just tired of the constant media attention that they're giving it to it. It's the Tim Tebow effect.
Well, and also, I think there's been more attention about the attention at this point. It's not even. It's funny. There hasn't been that much talk about actually like. Oh my gosh, Taylor Swift.
Yep.
It's arguing about it.
Yep.
It's a very meta discussion for the last week and a half.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep, I would agree with that. So there you have it, $7 million, and I think part of it too with the whole commercial thing, the age of the internet where a lot of it gets leaked out.
Well, now it's intentional. Like it started last week. Doritos unveils their Super Bowl commercial. And like, 10
or you're
days?
getting teases during the games, like Arnold with State Farm or whatever it was.
Yeah,
it's like coming soon, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, also that was part of the appeal of the Super Bowl ads. What's coming next? Ooh. Now it all comes out in advance. I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe I don't really need to watch the Super Bowl commercials. Mm-hmm. I can walk away at that point, which I guess it doesn't really show up in the ratings. I know there's the ability to track minute by minute to see how people are watching, and also people aren't going en masse to YouTube. A lot of people do, but it's not like everyone who would be watching is instead going to YouTube and watching the ads and thus not watching during the breaks. The vast majority are first going to see the ads during the Super Bowl broadcast. It's the same for me. I'm not going to spend extra time watching individual YouTube ads and then watching a 15-second pre-roll for another ad, and then a 10-second pre-roll for another ad so I can watch an ad. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just going to wait to the game and watch it.
Yep, I'd agree. So the second part of this for the business of sports, the news that dropped yesterday was that ESPN, Fox, Warner Brothers to launch a sports streaming platform. It was announced yesterday that will include offerings from at least 15 networks and all 4 major professional sports leagues. A one-stop app to view most sports out there. Just a little bit more here. I'm reading from the mothership ESPN. The platform will include games from the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, WNBA, NASCAR, and college sports, including men's and women's NCAA tournament, as well as golf, tennis, and the FIFA World Cup. It will include offerings from 15 linear networks: ESPN, ESPN Plus, ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, ACC Network, Big Ten Network, ESPN News, ABC, Fox, FS1, FS2, TNT, TBS, True TV. Subscribers will also have the ability to bundle the product with Disney Plus, Hulu, and or Max.
I love how they throw True TV in there solely for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Great. So
their viewership skyrockets in March.
for like 2 days, so you're gonna have True TV for like 364 days out of the year with just whatever is on True TV.
Unless you're like a true crime.
I mean,
sort of
there's
buff there.
appeal to that, but otherwise, if you're a sports dude, at least you're good for those early games. Where otherwise, you're like, where is True? Well,
Yeah, you don't know the dial what True TV's on probably.
This
So.
fixes that. It's hilarious and yet forward thinking at the same time.
So we've talked a lot about streaming services, I feel like, in recent history. But your thoughts, your initial thoughts when you first heard this, is this something that you would be interested in potentially signing up? We don't know the price. Apparently it's going to launch in the fall. We're fall football time, right? Perfect time to launch something for sports. Let's do it around football because, that's where you're going to get most of your signups there probably.
Of course.
I guess for me, the big thing is, me being a sports nerd, a lot of it's going to depend on price. What's that price point?
What's the?
And here's the thing: I already get a lot of those channels already.
Yeah.
So, what's the selling point for me with this thing? Maybe it would be if you don't have those, I guess. But
right, like I want to know what's left out.
Yeah.
That's the hiccup with all of the assorted like streaming packages, like you do Sling or YouTube TV, but inevitably there's like that one channel. You have like I can't tell you how many times like I could go without cable. Honestly, I so rarely watch TV, but like in my mom's case, she grew up more with cable, so she's more used to that. She has a certain number of channels that she likes to watch. So I'll be like, all right, let's see if we can find something that's like cheaper than cable. And inevitably, there's like 5 channels she watches, and each provider has like one of them missing. Like, what? So what? So you end up sticking with the original plan, the cable bundle, which I think leads to the joke about, hey, so this is basically the cable bundle once again.
Well, that's what I'm glad you brought that up because I don't know if you saw this from The Athletic. So Andrew, Marchand?
Andrew Marchand, yeah.
Yeah, wrote an article, and there was a quote in there that says, Jason Stark quoted this, said, "One day the brilliant TV executives are all going to unite and put their programming under one roof. It will solve all of your sports viewing problems. They will call it cable."
Yep. And it's not exactly that, but it kind of is in a way. It's like the sports cable package in a way. So I want to see what's the one key thing. It looks like they've covered a lot of the bases, but right now I'm okay. So games from MLB, but is MLB Network on this?
Right.
I loved watching MLB Network years back, and then it got thrown up to a higher tier on cable. And I kind of missed that. If that's not there, hey, NBA TV's not there. How many times
NFL Network's not on there.
True. I mean, there's some pretty significant games that end up on those, like the overseas games, the NFL Network. How many times do you have like a big key Bucks game? It's on NBA TV. Oh, all right. Well, I'll check the highlights later, I guess. See, that's the sort of stuff I want included on this. Those channels that probably don't get great ratings, but they have a sneaky high number of games that you really, really want to watch. Now, asking for like the RSNs, which again, there's the question of how long do those last, even with the Amazon bailout stuff. I don't know. But that's probably a bigger factor for me. Mm-hmm. Price would be the next consideration. So what is your? I can already tell you're a bigger sports fan than I, so you probably have a higher value than I would. What is your cap for this service as set?
My cap on how much I would spend per month, let's say, right?
Yes.
I'm going to go cheap on this thing. $5 to $10 a month. Because my big thing here is like, I'm assuming a lot of those are going to be national games that are included on this, right?
Probably.
Honestly, probably some games I could give a rip about. I want to know my Packers, my Brewers, my Bucks, and my Badgers. Okay, Big Ten Network is already on. But the other part of me here too is like, I already get Big Ten Network. So what's the selling point? Is this all of a sudden going to be like, hey, if you want Big Ten Network, you got to get this pack? Then that changes. If I already get it, am I going to continue to get it? Is kind of what I want to know. I would assume so, but if it's going to turn into, hey, you want Big Ten Network, or you want ESPN, or you want TNT and TBS, it's not going to be included on your typical Hulu package. You got to get this add-on package now. That changes things for me then.
Yeah.
But if it's already included, for me, it's like $5-10. But if it's outside that, where okay, now you're telling me you're removing these channels from my lineup already, and if I want to get them, I got to buy the sports package. Well, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, my willingness to pay a little bit more is going to go up at that point.
Yeah, because a lot of these either I have or I have no interest in watching. I don't care about the ACC network.
Yeah, I don't care about SEC network. Yeah.
I mean, occasionally there's for me, there'd be like a Gopher game that's on ESPNU. But that's like 1 or 2 a season, and I'm not that much of a diehard that I have to watch the game.
And we got some Badger football games that are on Big Ten Network, that sort of stuff. But I already get them.
Right.
So
I have ABC and Fox. Heck, I can watch ABC and Fox over the air for free if I want. True TV, I mean, if I miss a handful of NCAA tournament games that are on True TV, yes, I might miss an absolute classic buzzer beater, but the vast majority, I mean, good luck remembering which games were even on True TV in a given year. You'll probably forget after like 2 weeks.
The thing that might push me over, and it's not included on this thing, but the thing that might be like, okay, if they had to make it a more like the option to watch all of your local baseball games on there.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm getting? Like, oh, you're telling me I can maybe tune into all the Brewer games or Twins games or something like that? Okay, now we're talking.
Yes, that changes this. What
Like, what baseball games are included? Is it just the national ones that are on Fox, or Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN?
Well, in effect, make it like the windows for where NFL games are determined, for where basketball games are determined, for where baseball games are determined. So if you live in Eau Claire,
right,
then you can only access certain ones, but everything is available. You've got it's an all-in-one Wisconsin app, and maybe again depends on where you're at. So like far western Wisconsin, and maybe as far as Eau Claire, like there's a Twins and Timberwolves overlap, for example, or right down in like Racine, Kenosha, you get a little bit of a Chicago overlap because they know they're going to be fans there. But that only applies for like Racine, Kenosha counties. Milwaukee County won't get that. It's all going to be with that sort of thing. If there is some way, and then you got to get into location-based stuff. If people that maybe that's a little bit too much. I could see where it could work, but a lot of people don't enable locations, and then you got an issue. But I want to see more of the ability to watch your own team. I'm trying to figure, and there's an answer for this. I'm trying to figure the core target for this. I suspect it's people that have cut the cord but also don't really have like a solid sports solution. And it's the idea of, okay, maybe you got ESPN, kind of like what I was talking about earlier when you try to go to those other streaming services, there's always that one channel that you're missing. If you're just in a general sense, you can kind of run into that a fair amount. Like, yeah, they got the ESPNs, but they don't have the Turners. Well, this covers all of that.
And I wonder, too, how much, like, sports bars. Where, they don't need the whole package of, like, where it includes Lifetime or History Channel, where it's just going to be straight up sports. Well, here you go. Something like that.
Yeah, I could see that. I honestly don't know how well this is going to do.
Yeah,
this feels... This is kind of I guess now would be antiquated, but those who are old enough will remember. Remember the Baseball Network?
Yeah.
Mid-'90s? And that's not an exact... That's not an exact analogy, but one of those things that we're going to cover everything as part of this package, and then it didn't work. I understand why it's being done. Same here. oof, I don't know. I'm intrigued. Let's see what happens, because at least nothing's being taken away. So cool. Let's see if it works, and maybe there's some way that it can be built upon. That price is going to make a big difference too, because like right now, I wouldn't pay for it because I have enough of those channels, and I know I've got ESPN Plus, so there'd be a bundle thing. So like those of us that have ESPN Plus probably would pay a discount because you're not going to pay twice. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. If it's like $5 or less, I'm not going to pay for it right now because there's too much of that I already get.
Yeah, that's the main thing for me is like I already get the majority, the ones that I want I already get. So
now, if I completely got rid of cable, like I said, I don't really watch it, but I still have it. Now, if I got rid of it, maybe if there's not some other service that like my family, my wife and I sign up for, and there are a lot of those channels that are missing, then I might be in the ballpark for it. And if it's like an additional $5 to add on to ESPN Plus, then maybe I would be in. But it has to be something like that where I don't have all those other options already on the table.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I'm assuming too, like Amazon's not going to be in this for their Thursday Night Football, right?
No.
So,
and that's where the Amazon RSN thing is so much more intriguing. Mm-hmm. Still got to see what that's going to be. Like, is that really just going to be part of Prime Video? Get Brewers and Twins games, or is that for $39.99 a month? You get okay, never mind. It's like a premium part of Prime Video. I don't know. That's all to be determined.
Right. All right, that's going to do it for our Business of Sports segment. Again, brought to you by Security Financial Bank.